Peace, peace. This is Brother Faheem, and you are now tuned in to the Lead with Logic podcast. Hey, you know the vibes. Peace, peace, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back. I am Brother Faheem, your most gracious and humble host of the Lead with Logic podcast. Listen, for those of you guys who don't know me, let me introduce myself, man. Again, not a one, not a two, but a third time. I'm Brother Faheem, and I'm the host of Lead with Logic. And what we do here on this podcast is we take the controversial, the sensational, and the mundane, and through objective data, that's books, peer-reviewed journals, articles, documentary clips, interviews, we now extract the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding so that people can live life in 3D and their enlightenment can be enhanced. Lead with Logic is a brand saying and a podcast. If you go to www.leadwithlogic7.com, you can now shop for your products. We have hats, we have hoodies, we have tees, and whatever else it is that you will please. So go on over there. Again, that's leadwithlogic7.com and support your brother, man, before you support the other man. It's a saying as well. It's an acronym: letting enlightenment and divinity win in this harsh level of God's infinite creation. Yes, sir. That's what lead with logic means. So it's not just a word, it's an acronym that constructs a word that advocates, that really motivates and inspires people to think critically, right? And every Monday night, right here on this channel on YouTube, Lead with Logic at 8 p.m., you get to see Brother Faheem and one of his bills and one of his guests. Man, the world moves at such a ultramagnetic pace. I'm always trying to keep my boots laced so that I can win the race, y'all. Y'all know how it goes. Man, we got such a great show today. Man, this guy is up. He's up to be interviewed as a special request, and he's definitely a special guest. I'm gonna just bring him in real fast, man. This is a young brother doing such big things. Oh my goodness. Listen, enter I'm going to introduce a good brother. I'm a supporter of his content, of his channels. You heard me right. I said channels, plural. Man, this guy is an entrepreneur. This guy is one of the dopest live streamers on the whole entire net. This guy breaks down one of the greatest shows, one of the greatest characters that ever did live is in media, but especially in black media, you guys, right? So I would like to introduce to you guys none other than my man, Mick, Mr. Power Universe. Man, how you doing, big brother?
Yes, sir. I'm doing great, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Man, listen, I thank you for being had, brother. Thank you for coming on the show, man. We appreciate you. Let me tell you guys something. If y'all don't know me, I don't get to talk about this a lot, right? And this is beautiful because we're getting to see our viewers, our audience are getting to see different sides of these hosts. Because I forgot to mention this brother has a podcast as well that I want you guys to check out, right? But we have on our shows, we have our content that we deal with, right? We have our niche, if you will. And we go with that. But we also are human beings and we are multi-layered and nuanced and complex people. And so, man, if you guys know me, y'all know if you've ever had a real conversation with me, you know that James Ghost St. Patrick is my favorite, all-time favorite character in media, in cinema, in TV history. The way he moved, the way he thought, the way that he strategized, it was just amazing. And you know, I he really advocates choices. He really advocates strategy being better than strength. He advocates chess. He advocates the 48 laws of power. He encompasses all these things. He's the black Michael Corleone. He's priest from uh Superfly. He's Ray Nathan. I mean, he's Romello from Sugar Hill. He's Tristan from Blue Hill Avenue. All of these characters he's Stringer Bell from The Wire. All of these characters are different variations of James Ghost St. Patrick. And the brother that I'm talking to right now, He does such a dope analysis, y'all. And I'm gonna show y'all some of his content, but he does such a dope analysis of the whole power universe. So when I saw him on Instagram, and I was like, I'm thinking, okay, somebody else is doing power. Let's see what they're doing. He does the reactions to it, to power, and I'm like, yeah, this dude is he's real deal because he adds a realism to it, right? And that realism lets me know that he's a little bit deeper uh than what he probably shows you guys. So we're gonna try to get into some of that depth today, y'all. We're gonna try to get into a lot of it. Listen, I hear a kickback. Mick, man, I can hear the kickback, in your can you hear a kickback in?
Yeah, it's probably my chair.
Okay. I
All right.
thought it was a speaker. You good. I thought it was a speaker. I was like,
Yeah.
listen, Mick, tell us, man. I'm gonna ask you like I asked all my guests, big brother. Tell us about yourself, where you from, a little bit about your backstory, man, your early life, man, your family, things like that, man. Tell the people about yourself. Introduce yourself to the people a little bit.
Oof. Yeah. So I'm from Cameroon. It's a country out in West Africa, and I came here when I was like 2 or 3 years old, like super young, super young. I don't even remember anything from back home. And my parents just worked very, very hard to bring us here, kind of shifted their whole lives, to create an opportunity for me and my older sister. And yeah, we just came to America. They was hustling, they was grinding. I just remember seeing my pops working 2, 3 jobs, doing security. So growing up, I always had that work ethic example. Like I gotta grind, I gotta get it, I gotta get it. And yeah, that's kind of led to a lot of what I do now.
I can dig it, man. I can dig it.
Yeah,
And having immigrant parents to the US, that always, from what I've observed, it always instills a different type of work ethic. That's not to say that Americans don't have great work ethic, because a lot of Americans absolutely do. That's
hmm,
not just exclusive to one part of the region, but I'm just saying, in my experience, in my small experience, whenever I've known people from other countries that come to the States, hey, bro, they always have that strong work ethic, because a lot of times they might be coming from a place where it's no middle class. It's have and have not. There's no in between. So that
yep.
builds a different type of, work ethic in. Listen, what state were you in, big brother? If you don't mind us, the people getting to know, where were you at? Were you in the South? Were you in the East? Were you in the West, the Midwest? Where were you at, big
uh,
brother?
East Coast. I'm still in the East Coast. I'm like hour away from DC. Yeah,
DMV, y'all. DMV.
DMV, baby. Yeah, 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 yeah,
DMV,
yeah.
baby. I've been up
That's the
that way,
home.
man. I love it. They call it when I was there, they called DC Chocolate City, and then they call PG County Pretty Girl County.
I know why.
Yeah, man. They call it Pretty Girl County. So
Yep.
listen, you already talked about that hard work, man, that you saw your dad do, man. What kind of student were you, big dog? Because I know a lot of time that hard work spills over into the academic realm, but it doesn't have to. Sometimes you could be hard working in other endeavors. But what kind of student were you, Mick, man?
I was very iffy because I was very intelligent when it came to school, but I didn't have much interest. You know what I mean? I just kind of did what I could do to get by so I could be eligible to play sports, really. Because, I say this all the time. I knew from a very young age that for me personally, school wasn't going to do anything for me. I was thinking way broader than sitting in a classroom and doing homework. So, I mean, I did what I needed to do. I was a good student when I wanted to be. It was just a matter of effort for me. And there weren't much things in school that really interested me. I was just trying to play sports and get up out of there.
As many of us were.
Yeah,
That's a common theme. A lot of us figured out like, yo, this isn't really it. And sometimes it can be impragmatic, y'all. It can be, what I mean by that, it's not always pragmatic, is they would teach you trigonometry, but they won't teach you how to balance a checkbook.
exactly.
Or they would teach you algebra, which is cool, but they won't teach you how to change a tire. Right. So
Mhm.
there are things, and it used to be in the States, bro. It used to be where they would teach vocations and trades. They would teach more things where people could go out and get a job right away. They didn't have to absolutely go to the academic. I feel like now they just push everybody to going into college, and that, like you said, that might not be everybody's path, and it doesn't have to be.
Yep.
So no, I can identify with that. Now listen, did was there did you see a lot of entrepreneurship? Because I know I read a stat that said 80% of all businesses in New York are owned by immigrants. Did y'all know that?
Yeah.
And but it makes sense when you think about it, right, Mick? Because it's so diverse, it's so cultural, and like we've already said, people from different countries typically look to have their own. Not to say that that's exclusive to the people, but a lot
Mhm.
of times they'll do that. They'll unify and do that. So did you see a lot of entrepreneurship? Was your dad, did he work hard on those jobs, and then maybe your mom had her own? Did you see anybody being an entrepreneur, bro?
To be honest, I was not exposed to a lot of traditional entrepreneurship.
Hmm.
Like the entrepreneurs that I was seeing was people who was just like hustling, like selling candy, selling weed, like the typical stuff that you would see. But no one really trying to like go out and start real businesses and create something more for themselves. So it was more online where I seen that stuff where I went out searching for that information for myself.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So oh wow. So what pricked you to become a person that would well, you know what? I'm gonna come back to that.
Yeah.
Um when you weren't big on school, so I assume all throughout school, like how were you in high school? When you got to high school, did you say were your parents like, were they like typical West African parents? You must go to school, you know what I'm saying? You must go to college. Did they push college on you, big brother? Did you have any college?
You know what's funny? At first they did. When I was in high school, they just pushed school in general. They always
Sure.
pushed like education.
Hmm.
But I don't think they really understood that education is very broad and it can be taken in a lot of ways. It doesn't necessarily just mean college. So when I kind of graduated, my parents didn't have like crazy money like that to just be sending me to school 4 years, paying all this crazy money. So my dad was like, let's put a pause on that. You can go to a trade school, you can learn a skill. And if you want to go to college after that, you can pay it for yourself, and it'll put you in a better position. You won't be in any debt. And you'll be making money while the rest of your peers are racking up debt. And I think that was one of the best things I ever did.
Hey man, so you got to go to trade schools, what you're telling me?
Yeah.
What did you take up, big brother?
It was a IT trade school. It was for
Ah,
like 6 months.
uh-huh.
But the crazy thing is I was skipping like most of the trade school. I only went probably like 2, 3 months of it, but I internalized a lot of information and I was able to like create up a fake resume and get a job like within a few months of ending it. My tech career just kind of kept going from there.
Oh wow, this is
Yeah,
interesting. So you
yeah,
went half the time, but you went long enough to internalize just enough so that you could create a resume that would get your foot in the door, and then you could learn. And I always tell people two
mhm,
things about tech, right? One, uh, is not super sexy, meaning once you are into technology, at least the programming side, right?
mhm,
It's cool if that's you, but a lot of those people are introverted. They're not very great communicators. They like working alone, right? They're very
yep,
introverted people, right? Very people that really, so I always tell people it's not that sexy. And also the second thing is, hey man, you can do a lot of that stuff on your own. YouTube University will get you into a lot of things, man. And then with Chat
facts.
GPT, you know what I'm saying, Mick, man, like, bro, you can do just about you can tailor a resume to whatever the job description is. And if you have
Mhm,
any project, you can take projects that you did in school and explain them, and boom, you showing expertise right there.
literally.
There you have it.
Nowadays, you don't even need a trade school. Like, if I could go back in time, I'd go on YouTube. I would have got a couple certifications, and boom, I would have finessed my way in through interviews. I wouldn't even have to take those 6 months to take that class. So there's always quicker ways to do it.
Listen, that, and then when you compound that with networking, you're almost
Yep.
unstoppable. And you can
Mhm.
network. Now you guys can network. It's an app that I use called Meetup. You download Meetup. Meetup, you can find just about anything and everything that you are into. Meetup has it on there. You know what I mean? It has a community. If you're looking for
Mhm.
Python, Java, C plus, you know what I'm saying? What cybersecurity, whatever it is, there are people out there that you can go and meet up with, and then that will get you. They'll even you can learn by proxy like that. You know what I'm saying? They'll teach you if
Yeah.
you don't know. They're gonna be like, okay, focus on this. The job market's for that. You know what I mean? And then once you go in there, you kind of got a foot in the door. That's dope though, man. So after you went to trade school, after you finished, after you got your gig, um, what kind of made you? Well, what happened with that? I know what happened, but what happened? Like, okay, so you did the gig. Were you loving tech? And how did it end up, big brother? What was the end for that? What ended up
I
becoming
didn't,
a
I didn't, I didn't love it at all.
right?
In fact, I had very little interest in it, but I was looking from a sense of like, I need money, and this is what my parents want me to do. This is what they're encouraging. And my brother-in-law, he's in tech. He has his own business. Like he was making crazy money. So I'm looking at him like, yo, if I do take the same path, then I could be along the same lines. I'm a lot younger. He started older. Um, but it was a couple factors. Like I was just jumping from job to job. I found it hard to keep a job because I would lose interest, or the contract would end and I would have to go find a new position. There were just so many factors that kind of just took away from the low level of passion that I already had.
Mhm.
Um, and I was finding ways to make more money than my job in my free time, by doing things like sports betting, by trading, crypto investing. So I'm like, hold up, like I'm making more money from my jobs betting on a professional athlete than I am at work when I'm clocking in 8, 9 hours. And then, that obviously led to me doing content and other things like that. So
Mhm.
there's always another lane.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
I like what you said. You got sports betting, which we're not gonna tell nobody to gamble, right? we got,
Hey, be
hey,
responsible.
absolutely. But you got wagers,
Yeah.
but you got crypto, right? That's a very
Yeah.
viable option, right? I would
Mhm.
encourage people to put some money in crypto because crypto is the future.
Absolutely.
Or even day trading, right?
Yeah.
You can take as little as $500 on Webull and begin day trading and you can make quite a bit. Now you're not going to start out making 5 grand a day, but if
Yeah.
you keep reinvesting, that can absolutely be your reality. From what I've heard,
Mhm.
right? People have done
Absolutely.
that. They get into it. So other lanes is what I think is dope that you saw like, man, there's more than one way to skin a cat and there's more than one way to catch a rat. So I dig that, brother. What kind of media were you into, man? Like because you're Mr. Power Universe. What kind of shows did you watch growing up, man? Were you into hip hop? Like what kind of culture uh did you really engage in, brother?
Man, I consumed a lot of stuff. I love like Boys in the Hood. I just love crime stuff. I love I love seeing like examples of people who had their own lane, whether it was illegal or not. They was getting their own money and they was putting themselves in a position where they could sustain themselves and didn't have to worry about nobody. And there was a lot of lessons in these shows that I was implementing in my own life. And people say I'm crazy when I say this, but I feel like I'm a living example of I took one of these shows and I made myself popular off of it. And a lot of the attributes that I learned from the show I've implemented in my own life. How I move, how I do business, how I talk to people, the relationships that I build, how I network. There's so many different layers to that. Even just a TV show, which you never expect.
Hey, absolutely, man. Boys in the Hood. What television? What? Let me say this. I love, for me, right? I love the underdog. I like the
Mm,
older days. Strategy is better than strength,
yep.
and so what draws me to a lot of these shows like Power, uh, like Superfly. You saw the new
Mm,
Superfly.
yeah.
What drew me is these guys are underdogs, right? They're underdogs in a sense where they're resourceful, but they're underdogs in a sense that they have to outwit these immeasurable people, events, circumstances, these challenges, right?
Mhm.
Every episode on Power, we see Ghost and Tommy faced with an obstacle that could have killed them, right? Whether it's internal or external, but they have to figure it out.
Yep.
The same with Priest. He was trying to get out of the drug game, but he had to figure it out. So I'm really drawn to the underdog that has to use his wits. And it sounds like you have extracted those lessons from the shows that you've watched and implemented them in your own life, and now you've repackaged them and you're helping people with it. Is that what you
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's it's funny because when I love the villains because the villains are misunderstood.
that's right.
And I feel like my whole life I've been misunderstood. Like people don't get me because in my family, my culture, entrepreneurship is foreign, bro. Like everyone's just like get a job and stick in that lane. They're not thinking bigger and broader. They don't understand the internet. They don't understand you can make money online. You know what I'm saying? When I tell my parents I'm making bread from posting content, from sports betting, like they don't comprehend that. They don't understand I can open up my phone and by the end of the day I could make $1,000. They don't understand that. Or maybe they don't want to because they have a certain system and they were raised a certain way. So you can't really expect everybody to understand. But there's a world out there that you don't even know that people are making all types of moves.
That is interesting, Mick, that you would
Yeah.
say that because my wife is Liberian and
Mhm.
she had been like as a child, bro. She was always selling charcoal on the side of the road,
Mhm.
selling dried fish. That's a form, that's a hustle, but that's
Yeah.
entrepreneurial beginning. That's
Yeah.
not working in a warehouse, not working at a factory. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell y'all something. Profits are greater than salaries. But I'm surprised to hear that your parents, like, I don't know much about the Cameroonian. I know it's West Africa, but I
Yeah.
know you see the confusion is most Africans are entrepreneurial, or at least the ones that I've known have been
Yeah.
entrepreneurial minded. Really, Cameroon is not like they're not really entrepreneurial oriented like
I
that.
know people within my community that are, but my family and my little circle specifically, they don't understand that. And it wasn't until like I showed evidence and proof of what I'm doing that they really started to kind of open up and understand that. Like I had to show my parents, like I'm making more than my job betting on sports. You don't understand. Why would I go to work 8, 9 hours a day when I might be making more than my manager in 7, 8 hours less the time? They don't understand that. But they're like, no, you need to get a job because it's stable. But they don't understand like entrepreneurship is up and down. But the reward is way higher than staying in, a job where you're building somebody else's dream and you're under a salary and you're capped and they can let you go. And they can determine whether your family eats or not. And for me, I was just like, I'm not doing that. I gotta pay my own thing.
That is so dope. So it's not really, and correct me when I'm wrong, Mick. It's not really that the Cameroonian culture doesn't advocate for entrepreneurship. It's just that your parents are so uh accustomed to promoting security via uh what would I say? Security via
Yeah,
uh
traditional education.
yeah, traditional
Yeah,
education, traditional
yeah,
work, which listen, you guys, that's no different than what we're taught in America. What he's saying,
yep.
it's no different. That's why a lot of people. That's another. Okay, this is your interview, Mick. Mick, I don't want to talk too much. Mick,
Yeah.
what do you see? Okay, well, why power? We're gonna go into something. How and why power? Because you told us day trading, you told us cryptocurrency. How was it that you saw power and said, I can do something with that? Tell us about that, man. How did that come about? What's the genesis of power and you creating content? Because we're gonna show some of his content, and the shit is
Yeah.
A1 from day one.
Appreciate that, bro. I've always loved Power. Power has been my favorite show ever from day one since I Came across it. It's always resonated with me. I've learned so many lessons from it that I've applied directly. But to be honest, the power content came on accident because I always used to watch power. I always used to think I could do this. I could make videos. But when I started my content journey, it had nothing to do with power. The only reason I had gotten on social media was because I was sports betting and I was making bread doing that. So I was like, let me try to start a business and garner people from social media to promote that. So I started like a group, had like 700, 800 people that I was getting from social media, and then I had a private group for people who were like paying me to like mentor with them. And TikTok pretty much was like violating my posts, saying that I was promoting gambling. So they were pretty much just blacklisting me. Like they didn't want me to hustle. So yeah, they were like blocking down on my posts. I was like, if I'm already on social media, I might as well pivot. And I keep talking to my friend who was pretty big on socials too. He's like, bro, just start talking about whatever you like. So I was like, I'm gonna just start posting clips of power. So I was posting clips of different scenes, breaking them down, related into the 48 laws of power. Like I was on some like very deep stuff. And then the clip started blowing up. I'm like, okay, let me start showing my face. So I started showing my face and people started resonating with me more. And then craziest thing happened. I think it was last year around July, June. It was when the last season of Power Book 2 Ghosts was going to come out. They were doing like this 10-year anniversary thing. They were pretty much giving out like free tickets to the premiere. One of my followers sent me a link to these tickets as soon as they dropped. So I got 2 tickets for me and my bro. We went out there. I went to the premiere. Like I was there, Michael Rainey, Tommy, all those people was there. Like I was making content. Bro, I kid you not, I left that premiere. Within like a month, I had gained like 40, 50,000 followers. Just from me doing content at the premiere. Because they're like, oh, he's doing power content. He's at the premiere, like he must be tapped in. And since then, like I ain't looked back.
So that premiere really helped you catapult and take off.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And did you get to meet Fifth?
I see them. Like I seen him, I seen Tasha, all of them, but we were like kind of in like a gated area. So like he was a red carpet, he was walking in. So he wasn't doing interviews. You know how he is, like he was straight to business. But just being there, being around those people, like I was like, bro, this shit is possible. Like I'm in the same room as 50 Cent. Nobody could tell me shit. Like I could do something with this. So that really motivated me to just keep going with the concept even further.
I wanted to show you something real fast, bro. You see what this is?
Yes, sir. Shout out Robert Greene.
That and I'm a reader. I'm kind of a reader anyway.
Yep. 50th law. Yep.
I'm kind of a reader anyway. I love reading because, like you say, it's a lot of lessons that you can learn and implement. So you started just doing it, man, because your buddies told you, hey, just do what you like. So you had your own business where you were mentoring people. So this is something, entrepreneurship. This wasn't new for you. You kind of already had caught the bug and you had kind of got the hang of it, but you started doing power because you really enjoyed it. That is dope. And then, wow, man, you got to go to, where was it? It was in New York, right?
Yeah, it was in Manhattan.
Wow.
Crazy.
I'm pretty sure it was
that shit was surreal, bro. It was so surreal because this is a show that I spent 10 years watching. So if you would have told me I'd be there at the premiere, like I was like, bro, this gotta be God. Like this is not a coincidence at all that I'm making content and I'd be here a couple months later. So it was a crazy experience.
One thing, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but a lot of people, people online, they don't really know how to think critically. They don't know how to lead with logic. And so,
facts.
And so when a person like me hears, sees, or observe, when I look, listen, and observe things, I understand that it's like a glacier in psychology. There's what you see on top, and then there's what is unseen on the bottom. And that's with everything, right? And so I try not to get too caught up in what I can see, and I understand what's unseen is really what's powering what's seen, and it's not
Yep.
always the same thing. I say that to say recently, uh, Mick was making content and he showed a photo of Tommy and Little Meech, the actor Joseph Sikora, and little Demetrius Flannery, Big
Yep.
Meech's son, and it wasn't the post that was interesting. It was 50 Cent had said, just really shouting you out, really, just saying, "Hey, I see you." You know what I'm saying? Don't make really just being funny. Uh
Yeah.
and and I think you responded. I don't remember what you put. I didn't even see what you put, but when I saw your live, I just saw people acting as if they knew 50, as if he was their buddy or their pal. Like they almost I don't want to say gang banging, but they've almost uh buddy hustling. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
yo, this is, and I thought to myself, that's crazy. Like, that's really a sign that the brother's taking off if the person that he has made a living from off of the content that started in his brain. Because let's be honest, y'all. Let's make no mistakes. Power is 50's brainchild. That whole concept,
Absolutely.
that's all 50 Cent.
Yep.
Those are not, I don't think that those are real life characters, but I do think they're based off of people he knew, right?
Absolutely.
They're character types of people that he has known, right? And so for him to shout you out like that, that's monumental, man. But
Yeah.
people now don't understand. They don't have the best understanding. But Mick, you handled it very well. What did you think of that, big brother? Like, what did you think of the response? You know what I'm saying? How people responded, you know?
You know, I knew exactly how people would respond because people on the internet are soft. And
Very.
you understand that when you're behind a screen, it's easy to say anything,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And when you're on their level, there's no problem because it's an even playing field. The second you
Hmm.
tip the scales a little bit, no, they got to bring you right back down. They got to humble you. So when people see that 50's commenting on my post, they don't understand. Like I strategically planned this. I posted this because I knew BMF is hot and I knew that powerful force is on the way, and this is going to ignite something. And I knew that there was a potential that 50's going to see this, and whether he responds or not, he's going to see it, and there's going to be eyes on it. Him responding was icing on the cake for me, and I took advantage. I was like, "Yo, you should be thanking me. I'm bringing light to your platform." And people in the comments were like, "50 would destroy you." I'm like, "Bro, he don't know you." He don't know you. Like, he don't know you. And if you know anything about 50, he's the master of marketing, the master of trolling. He would want me to do and say what I said. So that was an opportunity for me, and I took full advantage.
It's crazy, right? Because like you said, people going so hard for a person they do not know. But if they knew him, right, they wouldn't understand that what you did was really essentially what he did when he first started. He took
Facts.
he took something that was hot and he mentioned somebody that was hotter at the moment so that he could get their attention. That's really hip hop, y'all. I just really gave y'all a gem in the hip hop.
Literally.
It's really a hip hop formula that Mick is using. I'll give y'all some names. KRS-One and MC Shan, same thing. Um, who else? Who else? Who else? 50 and just about damn near the whole industry. How to rob, right? It was the same thing. It's that
Yep.
playbook, and it's one of the 48 laws of power as well, right? Um, if we can't be friends, create your enemies, right? Formidable enemies, you magnify your presence,
Yep.
right? Because a king is not going to address a jester or a simpleton. He's only
Mhm.
going to address other nobility, other kings. So by the mere fact that when you shoot at people higher than you and they have to address you, that raises your level of esteem as well.
Exactly.
That
And that's
raises
what
your
they don't
level.
understand. That's what I was trying to tell people. They were like, 50's going to destroy you. I'm like, I'm a small creator. If 50 has any sort of engagement with me, I win. I get more famous. I get more wealthy. I get more notoriety. I get more opportunity. 50's already a humongous, entity. He's not going to benefit from beef with me at all. So it's a
Not
win-win
at
for
all.
me. But they don't want to hear that. They don't lead with logic.
They
So
don't. They
at
don't.
all.
They don't. Listen,
Yeah,
one thing, and I'm gonna queue up because I want the people to see. I want y'all to see what Mick is doing, and I want y'all to go and follow him immediately. He has a good bit of fans, but I would hope that he has more fans after you guys see this because this is phenomenal what this brother's doing. But
yep,
I was gonna say, man, there are a lot of themes that happen in Power. Also, another show that he does is Snowfall. You guys, these are staple shows in the community. Um, there are a lot of themes in Power, right? And Snowfall too, right? You see a lot of entrepreneurship, right, at the pharmaceutical level.
yep,
you, see, you, you you see a lot of family dynamics, right, in Snowfall and Power. These are
yep,
stories about families, right, and extended
yep,
family. You also see different themes of different isms, right? Sexism, racism, feminism. You see all of these isms inside of these shows. What do you notice, bro? Like, what themes jump out at you or make you excited about the clips that you and as you're doing this, as you're breaking that down, Mick, I'm gonna be pulling up your YouTube and we're gonna show the people a clip on your YouTube. We're also gonna show people a clip on your Instagram. But what
yep.
thing going to kind of the things that you recognize, man, about these shows, both Power and Snowfall, that when you're breaking them down, you kind of integrate that into your commentary.
Man, it's really just the family dynamics and the entrepreneurship. That's what really kind of speaks to me. Like you said, all these shows are really about family. It's not about drug dealing. It's not about any of that stuff. It's family and how being in the game impacts those relationships and how they navigate that. And just seeing that just really piqued my interest. You don't really see a lot of shows like that where it's a family business. They're all dealing drugs. They're all in the streets. They're all trying to kind of paved their own way. These are things that really pique my interest. I love seeing the underdogs. I love seeing people try to get their own, strive for more, and navigate a dangerous life where everyone's gutting. Even your own family is gutting at you. So nobody's safe, and that's definitely one of the big themes that I learned is everyone's out to get their own. Your family until the money's involved. Then everything's up for grabs.
Absolutely, brother. Everything's up for grabs, and it also makes you redefine how we look at family, right? Because
Absolutely.
a lot of times, like I tell people, you've probably seen like family is not biological; it's based on loyalty and trust, right?
Yep.
I always say, man, you can't really choose your relatives, Mick, but you can choose your family. Your relatives is pretty much genealogy, right? It's
Yeah.
bloodline. That's predetermined by the two people that make love and bring you here. But now your family, the people who reciprocate love and respect and telling you what needs to be heard when it needs to be heard, you can absolutely choose those people, man. You don't have to be around your relatives. Oftentimes you leave where your relatives are. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. Listen, I'm tripping. Let me do this. Let me do this.
Yep.
Let me do this. I don't want to do this wrong. So listen, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, this is my dude, Mr. Power Universe. Now he has 25.8 thousand followers. I'm gonna expect him to have 27.8 thousand followers after this interview. I want each and every one of y'all to go over there and follow. And also, y'all, the people who are watching on Instagram and on YouTube who are watching this, hey, I want y'all to come on over to Lead with Logic, right? On Instagram and on YouTube. Y'all follow me so we can get y'all can get this content. But listen, Mr. Power Universe, you see it here, unfiltered takes, TV and pop culture, and more decoded by Mr. Power. You see that? He does more, and we're gonna get into that more. We so blessed that he can get into that more. So
Yeah.
this is the content that brother makes. And let me see. The one I wanted to show, I wanted to go back to the one with Dre. I thought that was pretty it was pretty exciting.
Put hands on.
Yeah, man.
That's one of
Ghost.
my favorites.
Yeah, man. I know. That's what I remember you talking about it. And you know,
Mhm.
we get to see Ghost kind of crashing out. Y'all check it out.
was arguably Omari Hardwick's best performance in a scene as Ghost.
It's within my
Insane
life. Thank
scene.
you.
The energy just went up like this so fast.
Hey, Joe.
Y'all forgive me, man. It's running slow.
That's a bad idea for a lot of reasons. You don't want to commit murder in your office with a monogram James St. Patrick.
I don't care about that right now, Joe.
The other thing
This is what I'm gonna do.
is the Eastern District just got.
I'm gonna show it on the YouTube. Maybe I think the YouTube will be playing faster. But listen, y'all, this is the Mr. Power Universe. Y'all see it. Y'all see all the clips. Y'all see all of the photos. Y'all see all of the good stuff that he has going on. And he breaks down and analyzes everything. He gives you guys something a little bit more to talk about and think about other than just the actors and how nice they look. He's giving you the wisdom, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding behind the scenes that you love, that I love, that we love. So again, look at that, man. It's endless content, man. The brother's relatable. The brother's breaking it all down like it hadn't been broke down. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pull you up on YouTube.
All right.
Yeah, see if I can get that same scene, man. Listen, I love, and I'm pulling it up. Listen, I love, and I can see the evolution of your cinematography or your visuals, right? I can see how in the beginning, the lighting and everything. How has that journey worked for you, brother? How has it been, evolving as a content creator, getting to where, you got that crisp picture, you got that audio, you got the scene inside the scene. Was that a struggle for you, bro? Or was that something that an obstacle that you faced to get it together? And I'm pulling it up as you talking.
It wasn't necessarily an obstacle, but it was something that I just needed to key in on. Early on, when I was making content, I never expected to create an audience. So when an audience comes, expectations come with that, and the quality of the content has to increase. So I'm looking at other creators who are in my niche who I'm competing with it. I'm like, their videos out here coming 4K. I have to pave my own lane. And I just pride myself on making content that like nobody else makes. Like I can genuinely say there's nobody else on the internet that makes content or videos and breaks things down like me. So the quality is only going to keep going up. It's just part of reinvesting in myself and taking it from there.
It's absolutely. Hey, it's on there, right? The is the scene that we had, is it on
The
YouTube?
short, yeah, but you might have to scroll for a little bit because I'd be posting a lot. You probably better find it on TikTok.
You know what? And I got, you know what I got to
Yeah,
do?
that's what the real platform is.
See, more
Yeah.
knowledge, more game. The real platform, I think it is TikTok. TikTok is taking over,
Yeah.
man. I think
Yeah.
TikTok is really taking over. I'm gonna play this one because I like this one. I thought this one was pretty dope.
Cool.
Hold on, hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna pause it and then I'm gonna bring it up so you guys can see it. This is one of my favorite people on Power. He's one of my favorite characters. That he's kind of unsung, if you ask me. Proctor. People don't give Proctor. Proctor was
Yep.
unsung. He was very unsung. He
Joe
was loyal,
Proctor.
bro. He was loyal to Ghost, wasn't he?
Definitely.
Here
To
we
the
go.
end.
Thanks for coming.
You're welcome. When I asked you about Alicia Jimenez, you forgot to tell me the Ghost was after her, too.
I didn't tell Ghost you were grabbing Alicia either. Could have warned him. Told him you were going to be there. I've been 100 with both of you, Tony.
He was, though.
Come on.
Okay.
I didn't like how they
So
killed
what do you
Parker.
want?
They should have kept that man alive.
I agree.
Witness against you.
Facts.
Maria Suarez. You and Ghost had a run-in with her and her fiance, Miguel. Ghost let her go.
Yeah, I remember.
She knows her fiance's dead. And she wants you and Ghost to pay for it. Ghost said he was going to handle it, but he gave her money instead.
Fucking Ghost. If he would have just let me put a bullet in the head, we wouldn't be in this mess right now.
Big facts.
What the fuck's this got to do with you? What are you telling me for?
If Maria testifies against both of you, I'm next on the process.
You said he was next. We saw Proctor get dark, didn't we?
Dirty out of nowhere.
Hey, but look, what happened? What we saw. Remember, Proctor killed. He overdosed his wife. Remember his ex-wife.
Yep.
That was a
Big
crime.
mama.
That was a crime. And somebody. I think it was Sax. I like when Tommy was getting ready to kill Angela. He said, "Oh yeah, this was the gun." He said he was putting the silence on. He said, "Oh yeah, I ran into your guy Ball Sacks." Do you remember?
Oh shit!
I was
My
like,
God, Tommy.
wow. But when Proctor killed his wife, when he made her OD, that made him a criminal, buddy. At that point, you know what I'm saying? And somehow Sax and them figured out like he was buying her dope and she OD'd, so we can connect you to that because she didn't have no money. Yeah, man. But yeah, that was a pretty dope scene, and I like, like I said, I saw you. That's amazing, man. That you have. How long did it take you to get? Like I said, you got. Let me see how many followers you have. You have 25,008 on Instagram, and on you still got a good amount on YouTube. For me, you don't need a lot of people on YouTube to make a huge dent, right? If you get over 1,000 followers, you're good. To me, you're golden, because that's enough for a Patreon. That's enough for people to buy your content. If 1,000 people sent you $1 every month, that's $1,000.
Yup.
And that's not a lot of money, you guys.
At all.
A hobo will give you $1. So 29.4, man, that's, bro, you got more than I got. You know what I'm saying? I think I got 26.3 or something like that. But I love it though, man. But yeah, Mr. Power Universe. But man, it is amazing. And you're on TikTok as well. What all are you on? Instagram, YouTube?
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. I'm on everything. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Everything. Hey, you want to know what's crazy about the whole Mr. Power thing?
Yes, sir.
That wasn't always my name. Yeah, like I changed my name maybe a few months before I went to the premiere. At first, my page was called Visionary Visions. Yeah, bro. My content used to be so deep. Like it was very deep. The people who followed me like early on when I had like my first 10, 15,000 followers, yeah, it was Visionary Visions. And I would post scenes and I would break them down like deep, show the inner workings. And then I was like, well, I'm getting big with this power shit. But if I just call myself Mr. Power, then everyone's gonna have to associate me with this show, and the show has a huge fan base. And once I did that, shit just took off. So I'm just stuck with it, embraced it.
Wow. So that's okay. So you were already doing deep stuff, and then when the power stuff came on, you just took on that moniker. I didn't know that, y'all. This is my first time. Wow. So this is why, if y'all watch, the brother's always saying that he has more content. He has more to himself than just power, right? He has. What kind of stuff were you breaking down on the visionary stuff, big brother?
All types of shows, just breaking down culture, just trying to get people to see things from a different perspective. You know what I mean? And I have multiple pages too. Like I got like at least 7, 8 social media pages, like outside of the Mr. Power. I have another page called Mr. Wisdom on TikTok where I just give free game. Like I give financial, life, my experiences, like all that stuff. So people don't even know that I have other pages because they're so keyed in on Power and Mr. Power. But I have other platforms where I talk about sports, other stuff. I got a lot of content all over the internet.
Wow. So when he says he got stuff he got to do, it's not just power shit he's doing.
Yeah.
He's doing visionary. He's doing wisdom.
Yep.
doing sports. He's doing all of these great things. Oh my God. Now, I had recently seen you start going live on Instagram. Uh,
Yeah,
well, let me say this. You've been going live on Instagram. I know you have a podcast
yep,
on YouTube. Is that YouTube or is that?
yeah, you too.
Tell us about that, man. Tell us about the podcast, when it comes on, and how often. Also, tell the people how often you can be going live on all your platforms. Because I know one day you were live everywhere. You were like
Yeah.
omnipresent. You know what I'm saying? You were everywhere at once. So, can you kind
Yeah.
of go into, man, your podcast and what that's about, and then when you go live on all your platforms?
Yeah, so the podcast was really just me wanting to give some long form content when like the shows were on, kind of break them down, things of that nature. And then I just got into like interviewing people as a way to network. So I would interview other creators, friends of mine, and then it got to be like interviewing other actors from the show. Like it got deep. So it was just a way to kind of give people different conversations, but also learn from the guests that I'm having on. And it's been dope. I had an actor from Power Book Force recently named Manuel Ramirez. He's one of like the main characters on this new season. And he's dope. He gave me a lot of game on just the industry and everything like that. So it's crazy. Like going from talking about power to talking to people who are in power is like a full circle moment. So that's really
Absolutely.
just the gist of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Damn.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so, so on the pack, you have a co-host on there, right?
Yeah, I haven't introduced him yet.
Uh,
Yeah, we shot the episode like a few days ago, so I'm
okay.
kind of waiting to release that episode to kind of let people know. But I was searching for one for a little minute. Yeah,
Hey man, that's pretty dope, bro. Because I know
yeah,
I can say that because on your page you show the shorts and y'all are in there together.
yeah.
So that's super dope. How often are you going live, big brother, on Instagram? Is it pop-up shop type deal, or is it calculated where you're announcing like, hey, I'm gonna be on this app, or you're gonna be on all apps? How often do you go live?
It's pretty
On
random right now because eventually I want to transition into like streaming, Twitch, and stuff like that. But I've just kind of been testing the waters. Like, it's just another way for people to see my personality in real time and not just on videos, for people to ask me stuff for me to interact. So it's really just random. It's not calculated at all. Yeah.
That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Well, listen, I appreciate it. And look, this is the part of the interview where we venture off to some lead with logic things. I always tell
Yep.
people uh, at the latter end, we know about you, we know about what you got going on, we kind of know how you got to where you're going. But now we're gonna get into some lead with logic content, right? Some things that I would speak about, and it sounds like you would talk about them as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It sounds like you already talk about them. Uh, so you already know.
Yep.
Listen, man. Um, obviously, we have a new commander in chief in office. I would love to get your thoughts on a lot of the cuts that are being made, and here's why. We understand in politics, there's the blue and then there's the red, and every 4 years, it's a seesaw of who's in control.
Yep.
And every team has its staple. You know that New York Knicks wear orange and blue. We know the Philadelphia 76ers wear red and white, and we know that they have different staples of their team. They have good guards, they have good big men. We understand politics isn't much different. It's two different wings of the same bird. We understand that the Republicans will always take from the social initiatives and give to the business sector, and that the liberals or the Democrats will take from the business sector and probably no, they will give a lot to social, the social side, right? Human
Yep.
service side. How do you see entrepreneurship helping people to cope and deal with what's going on with our country now, the politics that are plaguing, right? The cutbacks in social aid, uh, the enhanced federal just the enhanced troop, but really, you know what? Just the social aid. how do you see entrepreneurship affecting that, or how would it help that, Mick? Man, does that
Well,
make
the
sense?
first thing, yeah, the first thing I think people need to understand is the politicians are not on your side. They don't care
Absolutely.
about you. They never have. They never will. And this idea that there's sides between Democrats and Republicans, it's bullshit. They're
That's
all on the
right.
same side. They all have all the power and they control you. So all this bickering back and forth you see between them, it's a facade. Behind closed doors, they're drinking champagne, they're eating steak, talking about how they're going to play with your money. All right. So I think entrepreneurship is the number one way to not only free yourself, but to figure out like who are you really? Like entrepreneurship is a self journey of figuring out who you are. How built are you? You can make $100 today and make $0 the next 30 days. Are you comfortable with that? These are the kind of things that you deal with in entrepreneurship. It's uncertainty, it's stress, and it's a lonely chapter. And a lot of people are going to shun you. They're not going to understand you. But it's high risk, high reward.
That's right.
And I think that it's a great way to just mentally grow yourself and to free yourself. Like the idea that we're going to wait on politicians to help us, to save us, to give us funding. Why? So they can then control us in the back end and say, we did this for you. I don't even want their money. I'm cool. I'm going to get it on my own. There's always another way to get it. And that's what they count on. They bank on you, banking on them. And it's
Yeah.
this constant theme of, I'm going to vote for this person because they're going to do this for me. What has any politician ever done for any person? I can't remember. They haven't done anything for me. They haven't done anything for my family, but they constantly get on and they do these campaigns that say, we're going to do this for you. No. They're going to do what they want to do when they get in office, and they're going to say whatever they need to say to get you to sign on. So I hope people really wake up and start to understand that politics to me is a distraction. The more time you focus on that shit, the less time you are building your own life, and you don't got no time.
Listen, that becomes what you're saying becomes so insightful when you think about discussions, family discussions, discussion with friends, associates, affiliates. And what I mean is during Trump's first campaign as president, I lost a lot of friends because he wasn't the boogeyman to me. But like you said, people had this misunderstanding as to how politics work. And so in their mind, Donald Trump was the poster child taking all of these things away. And it's like you said, when you look deeper into it, you'll see that a lot of things that you think Trump put in place were already there. He's just enforcing it. And a lot of like Obamacare was a Republican initiative in Massachusetts, right? But the Democratic Party jumped on it. And so Barack Obama adopted it and it became Obamacare. Became Obamacare. But people don't think to go into the research to look and see how did this thing start. And also, hey man, like you said, entrepreneurship, all of those groups, all of those ethnic groups who are thriving, who are doing well, they're heavy on the entrepreneurial side. I tell people in the public schools, if you want to see the best students, look for the students who are the best in math and science. Those are typically the best students in the school. I'm going to say this to you guys, to everybody listening. If you want to see the most prosperous ethnic groups, look for those ethnic groups who have mastered global competitive fields, STEM, and that they have mastered entrepreneurship. It's the same concept in a broader, it's a macro, right? It's a macro concept that I'm trying to explain. If you look at, like, when I look at Asian people, Mick, I don't see them complaining about who's in office. They don't care because they don't care. I don't even see a lot of Asian people with, I've never seen them in a hoopty, bro. They're always in luxury cars. They're always in luxury cars. And maybe where you are, it might be more of them there. So you might see a slum. I know it's like Detroit, it's areas where it's slums. But here where I am, you don't see that. And I'm relating that to their understanding of politics, but more so their understanding and their engagement in entrepreneurial endeavors. Right. Also, one thing about power that I saw that I did not like was the feminism that has really taken over the shows. I think that's some bullshit.
Mhm.
The way Ghost died, uh, the way Tasha lived, the way the different characters, which I think Patina Miller is the greatest female lead. That's Rock in Raising Canaan for you guys who might not watch. I think she's the greatest female lead that I've seen on Power, right?
Agreed.
That includes Tasha, that includes Monet. I think
Mhm.
she's done it the strongest that I've seen from my personal perspective. But and I wanted to ask you this. I see a feminist stream running through the Power universe where it seems like in these shows there's this push or this kick for women to be, I get it, to be empowered, but almost to be equivalent or boss over men, right? In the man, and that's clearly like a feminist talking point, a feminist action. Have you seen that? Do you see that? And if you do or don't, how do you understand feminism impacting black media, specifically shows like Power? That makes sense, Mick?
It does make sense. It makes a lot of sense. I have seen it. I do see it, and I see it everywhere. Power is just that's just the tip of the iceberg, you know. And it's funny because I don't even really believe that feminism is a real thing, right? Because whenever a man is actually needed, feminism goes out the window. When you need to call the police, who do you call? When you need your tire fixed, who do you call? Like, you know what I mean? Like, everything's toxically masculine until you meet a man in a masculine role, and it's a part of a bigger agenda to just emasculate men, to make us weak, to ruin
Mm,
our households. And I had this conversation with someone else the other day, and I was like, "There's always this narrative of black men not being fathers, black men not being deadbeats." But when you look into a lot of these situations, they're just not allowed to be around their children. They're not allowed to be in the orbit because maybe the mother feels some type of way and she's keeping him from the child. And this is why we get what we get. This is why we get all these LGBTQ narratives and these things pushed because making the man weak, everything kind of goes from there, right? Because with the man in the household, if he's out, who are the women going to follow? They don't have that masculine frame to say that's not real. I don't believe that. We don't stand for that. So I think it's just a part of a bigger agenda, and it obviously is in these shows. You look at even Power Book Two Ghosts. Was Tariq really the lead? It felt like Monet most of the time. It felt like Monet was doing
right,
Monet shit. You know what I mean?
right.
It's crazy. So I've been seeing it, you know. But when you tell people this, they don't understand. They think it's just what it is, but they don't understand there's a deeper agenda there. They want this. They target this. You know, they target young men, they target young women because they know that they're susceptible to believing whatever they see on social media because
Yes,
social media is God for
that's
a lot
right.
of young people, and they don't know how to disassociate the real from the fake. So these agendas are going to keep being pushed, and it's only going to get worse. You know, if nobody speaks up on
Hey, brother, I'm glad that you broke that down in the way that you did because
it. Mhm.
when I watch these shows, we had discussed on the phone the show The
Yeah,
Shy. If you go back in some of my content, you'll see that I've discussed The Shy and how The Shy has a very strong LGBTQ uh, agenda. And again, let me
Mhm.
say this to the people who are viewing this because I know this will get a billion views. We're not against LGBTQ. That's not it.
Yeah.
We are not against that at all. However, but comma, we do see the undergird or the undercurrent of the LGBTQ message coming
Mhm.
through there, right? And you know, I would ask you this, and we talked about this as well. These things are relevant, brothers and sisters, because in Power, OG Power, Ghost became he was getting ready to be the senator. What was he? Governor, excuse me,
Lieutenant
governor.
Governor. Yep.
He was going to be the governor, right? Um, in real life, black men are leaving, exiting the Democratic Party. Now, he was running on a Democratic platform, but we're
Yep.
leaving the Democratic Party because they're minimizing the black man's engagement. We are being blamed for the outrage that the black community is having with the Democratic Party, right? So it's only it's befitting that we deal with that, because man, here it is, we have these shows that deal with the feminism, that have the LGBTQIA, and coincidentally, you have the politics that promotes and projects the same thing. They say art reflects life, Mick, man. Can you see how the LGBTQ agenda, the political agenda, can you see how how it's a connection, like almost how it mirrors, you know what I'm saying? A lot of, the a lot of people were mad at Kamala Harris's campaign trail. She has Megan Thee Stallion come out and they twerking. She
Clown.
has she has she has Beyonce and Kelly and them. They come out. She has all of these different celebrities that are endeared to Black people, right? She has them all come out, and they're speaking like, "Yo, vote or die, yo." This is the party. Yo, Donald Trump is a monster. He's gonna ruin. He's a fascist. Do you see the connection in how these shows are how they're connected? You know what I'm saying? Almost like how it's, again, art reflecting life, if I can. You see that, right?
Absolutely. I mean, they're all connected. Even when you connect mainstream media, all
Mhm.
these agendas also get pushed through mainstream media, which is the media that majority of young people and even older people now are starting to consume. So it's like, there's a lot of contradiction in these political realms, right? You got them saying, well, you shouldn't vote for Donald Trump, he's a bad person, but you're doing campaigns with all these celebrities, having them twerk at rallies and things of that nature. I'm like, well, how can we take you seriously? You know what I mean? How can we take you seriously when look at the agendas that you're pushing? You're more concerned on getting popular people and getting an audience more so than actually helping the people that you're trying to cater to. And it's why politics, a lot of people have just lost interest in it, quite frankly, because they're seeing a reality that the politicians don't really care about us. They never did. And it's sad. It's sad that it's taken this long for people to actually realize, but we don't really have control. We don't really have power. I say this to my pops all the time. He's like, "Oh, Trump, he's the reason these bills are going up." No, 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 no. You focus on the wrong thing. You need to be focused on how you can mitigate these situations so you don't have to think like that, right? He wants you to be frustrated. They want you to be frustrated. They want you to be in dysfunction, so you can't operate in society. And that's why it's a small group of people that succeed, because they're not focused on what everybody else is focused on. They're focused on what's important, and that's the family, and that's love, and that's friends, and just living life in a truthful way. Anything outside of that, it don't matter.
Hey, bruh, I couldn't agree more. And I respect what you're saying. I also say, and I told you this, if we focused on the economic fortitude of our community instead of so much social justice, then we wouldn't have a lot of the problems, because whenever people begin marching, whenever people begin placating or protesting, somewhere in there's an economic issue. They're like, well, we want a job, well, we want this, we want that. And it's like, I always think to myself, if we would just come together and put our talents, our natural abilities together, just like you have done, and I'm doing, and we just be consistent with it, that would make a way for us. That would cover us, rather than,
Easy.
like you said, than to blame them, to rely on them. And even I tell people like this: look for the silver lining. Vote your interest. Go in your interest. Whoever is up on the seesaw, look and see how you can benefit and how you can gain while they're in there on the seesaw. Don't
Exactly.
don't look at it from a a negative. Look at it as a challenge, and you just accept the challenge and move forward in that way. So, man, listen, I have thoroughly, thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed you. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna end this, but I don't want you to leave, because I always ask all my guests, just don't leave the live yet, because we're gonna turn it off, but we'll talk, because the live will stay up. So you just stay put.
Yep.
And listen, we've already seen your handles. If you can just remind the good people of where they can catch you at, where to come and see you at, then we can get out of here. Let the people know all your handles and all your platforms that you are going to be doing your thing on, because you're a superstar.
Appreciate that. Yeah, y'all can find me everywhere at Mr.PowerUniverse on Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Twitter, every platform that you can imagine. I'm there. Google me, I'll pop up, and stay tuned for the stuff we got coming in.
Hey, listen, we are going to definitely stay tuned. We're going to stay tapped in and tuned in, because, man, hopefully I can get on your podcast, big brother.
Absolutely.
And come on there and talk with y'all, man. Listen, y'all know where to find me. First and foremost, I want y'all to head on over to leaveoflogic7.com. Like I say, get these my hats, my hoodies and my tees. You dig what I'm saying? I want y'all to get down with the movement, man. If you enjoy reasoning and rationale, then Lead with Logic is for you. If you enjoy critical thought, Lead with Logic is for you. If you enjoy knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and how to utilize it to elevate your position and the position of those that you love, Leading with Logic is for you, man. We put a lot of things on our backs, but man, let's put something meaningful in our brains and on our heads and on our minds. So leadwithlogic7.com. I want y'all to go on over there and look around, man, and shop with your brother. Hey, Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all know how it is that we do what we do when we do it. Listen, man, another great episode. I want to thank the brother for coming through. And look, man, as the minister Malcolm X would say, may we meet again in the light of understanding. Stick around, like I said, Mick. Peace and love, y'all.